One.
Stephen started off with a quite magnificent pot on the red, although it was a shot to nothing. He was tight on the cushion, got a lovely kiss on the yellow, which could have gone either way. Now, if he can really take advantage of these odd pieces of luck and put pressure on Jimmy, things could change. A big task, but I'm sure this young man hasn't given up hope yet.
6.
Not a very good positional shot. A pink to the middle should be within his capabilities.
$12. 13. 13. Stephen Hendry.
The anxiety showed in the slight body movement, causing the black to be missed. But I do think that his previous shot should have left him in better position. He was only just off the side cushion playing that.
One. Yellow ball. Three.
Good pot, but found the wrong route to the reds. He's ended up in a cul-de-sac there.
Yes, as I say, Clive, it hasn't taken many wrong shots, or what appears to be us up here saying wrong shots.
Foul. 3. Jimmy White. 4. Stephen Hendry.
He's not done any damage. He's 7 points behind. But he really did want a miracle shot on the yellow to get onto those 3 reds.
I think Hendry was slightly disappointed that a miss wasn't awarded there, but he's taken up the other option available to him. He's put white in again. Well, I didn't even notice whether white looked to see whether that was on.
I think he must have done, Clive. Would have been exceedingly reckless if he hadn't. he's got away with it. Wants a good shot from Stephen to take this on.
Well, Hendry did make contact on the red very, very thinly. It moved about 1/4 of an inch, but the key movement in that shot was kissing the green, which has left white unable to pot that red.
I suppose it was inevitable that we had to have one semi-scrappy
Quiet,
frame,
please.
as it
Thank
were.
you.
They really couldn't keep up the standard they were playing.
One. Six. Seven. $12. Wait.
Hendry leads by 19, so he should get home safely with the aid of the last red and the early colours.
$13. $15. $17.
So that should
20.
see the frame to Stephen, but Jimmy White just played a couple of shots there, as we commented on, that were perhaps a little bit different to how he'd been
24.
playing the match so far. But if Stephen manages to take the next frame as well, it'll give Jimmy something to think about. He still have a cushion, but
29.
funny things have happened in finals.
35 under frame.
Meanwhile, Stephen Hendry has taken the 23rd frame, but Jimmy White still leads by 14 frames to 9.
Well, John, we were saying that was a big frame.
It was a big frame. I honestly thought that Stephen had gone. He was missing shots. He was looking for trouble when there wasn't any. He was potting the balls, but he was concentrating that much on the pot. He was leaving himself near the cushion. He couldn't get position. And then he's just had that little bit of luck where he played the red, hit it much too thin. If the white doesn't hit the green on the right-hand side and leave Jimmy a difficult pot, the frame was Jimmy's. And then when Jimmy missed the long pot, Stephen has jumped out of the chair. Now that's the first time since they've come back from the interval that Stephen's shown any aggression. You know, obviously Jimmy's put him under tremendous pressure. But yeah, it's amazing how things like that, a little roll of the ball.
He was saying when Stephen Hendry got back in, I think he was 28-0 down, you said, well, if he wins from here, it'll be tremendous. But every time he was getting the pot, then going totally out of position and making life, because it all looked good for him then, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the problem is that Stephen obviously now, emotionally, is going through a lot of problems, and he obviously isn't feeling 100%, he's dropping further behind. And he's just making certain of the pots, and when you start doing that, you run out of position. So then you've got to pot another good ball. And he did it for a while, and then he'd break down, and he just had that little bit of luck, and well, that'll give him hope.
I think quite right, as Clive and Ray were saying, he is conscious of the atmosphere out there. I mean, the support is Jimmy White's. Some of the shouts and remarks I think we could do without, quite honestly, from a knowledgeable crowd like we got in the Crucible. But you can't blame them. I suppose in one way they want Jimmy's supporters, they want him to win. But I think it's getting to him a bit.
Well, it will do, but as Steve Davis had to prove when he was playing Higgins, you know, it doesn't get any worse than that.
Anyway, here he is then at 9.14. If he goes in at 10.14, what a result that would be from after the way it started. Back live.